Time now for the Muletrain news program on this Wednesday, September the 24th, 2025. Brought to you today by Leal's Mexican Restaurant. Heaven is celebrating the arrival of Edwin Ray Cox as he died last week on Tuesday, September the 16th, 2025. Ed was born August the 28th, 1945 in Clovis to his parents, James, Andrew, and Ruby Lee Cox. He was their only child and grew up here in Muleshoe, where he attended school and graduated in the Muleshoe High School class of 1963. After high school, Ed served in the Army and was stationed in Germany. During his time there, his parents, Jim and Ruby, were able to visit him, and together they enjoyed the opportunity to tour Europe. Upon returning to Texas, Ed attended Texas Tech University, where he met the love of his life, Carol Ann Longwell. He graduated from Texas Tech in 1972 with a degree in business administration. With his military service complete and college degree in hand, Ed returned to Muleshoe with his new bride, Carol. He joined his father at the family business, Fry and Cox, selling hardware, farm equipment, lumber, and eventually office supplies. Together, Ed and Carol built a life in Muleshoe, raising their two children. Jeannie Lee followed 3 years later by James Eldon. Ed took great pride in being involved in his children's lives. Whether at school events, performances, or activities, he was a steady source of support and encouragement. After his father's passing, Ed assumed full ownership of Fry and Cox, where he dedicated himself to serving the community until his retirement in 2014. Ed had a heart for service and followed in his father's footsteps, serving both locally and professionally. In Muleshoe, he was a member of the JCs, a volunteer with the Boy Scouts, a longtime member of the Muleshoe School Board, and the Rotary Club. He served on the board of directors for Muleshoe State Bank and the Muleshoe Appraisal District. Professionally, he was active in the Southwest Hardware and Implement Association, serving as president in 1985. Ed also enjoyed traveling with Carol and the family. He grew up traveling to the Red River, New Mexico area with his parents and enjoyed going back there as often as he could manage. In their younger years, Ed and Carol took a road trip to Mexico City with some college friends. Hardware conventions provided a good excuse to visit new places, including Hawaii and Canada. Other destinations included Honduras, Guatemala, and to visit Carol's sister, Barbara, and multiple trips to New York, Princeton, and all over Texas to visit the kids. After retiring, Ed and Carol moved to Richmond to spend their later years closer to their children and grandchildren, bringing the family together once again, and that is in the Houston area. Ed was preceded in death by his parents, Jim and Ruby Cox. He is survived by his loving wife, Carol, his son, James, and wife, Sherry, his daughter, Jeannie, and husband, Kirkland, and his three cherished grandchildren, Emmeline, Eliza, and Quinn. A memorial service will be held tomorrow on Thursday, September the 25th at 2 p.m. at Parkway United Methodist Church in Sugar Land, there in the Houston suburb. Again, Parkway United Methodist Church is at 5801 New Territory Boulevard, Sugar Land, Texas, 77479. In lieu of flowers, please consider a donation to one of the following organizations: the Muleshoe Opportunity Scholarship Trust, attention Misty Simmons, 514 West Avenue G, Muleshoe, Texas 79347, 806-272-7404, or the Brookwood Community, 1752 Farm to Market, 1489, Brookshire, Texas 77423. Please keep the family of longtime native Ed Cox in your prayer list today, as he died last week there in the Houston area on Tuesday, September the 16th. And repeating, memorial service will be held tomorrow for Ed, Thursday, September 25th at 2 p.m. at Parkway United Methodist Church, which is at 5801 New Territory Boulevard in Sugar Land, Texas, 77479. Please keep Carol, Jeannie, and James and all of their family in your prayer lists today. Chapel service for Celia Hernandez, 75 of Muleshoe, was held last weekend, Saturday, September the 20th, at the Ellis Funeral Home here in Muleshoe. Burial followed in the Muleshoe Memorial Park. Celia died Wednesday, September 17th in Muleshoe. She was born January 26, 1950, in Mexico to Francisco and Eloise Moreno Hernandez. She married Luis Montejano Hernandez in La Poma, Mexico. Celia loved to cook, especially for her family. She enjoyed listening to Christian music and sewing. She treasured spending time around her family. Celia is a member of the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church here in Muleshoe. She is preceded in death by her parents. Celia is survived by her husband, Luis, her 4 sons, Gustavo Montejano of California, Luis Montejano of California, Juan Montejano of Muleshoe, and Carlos Montejano, also of Muleshoe. 2 daughters survive her. Delia Garza of California, Blanca Araceli Montejano of Muleshoe. 2 sisters, Elvia Hernandez of Mexico and Elena Hernandez of Mexico. 9 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren also survive Celia. Online condolences can be made at ellisfuneralhomes.com. Please keep the family of Celia Hernandez in your prayer list today. Her funeral service was this past Saturday at the Ellis Funeral Home Chapel, and burial followed in the Muleshoe Memorial Park. Well, we hate to report that the varsity Mules lost last Friday night at home in a big game versus the Canadian Wildcats. And as we mentioned during the live stream, that is the hometown of our new athletic director, Bo Dickinson, and his wife as well. And no, that was a special game for him, but the Mules fell to the Canadian Wildcats. Of course, they're always tough. That puts us at 2-2 on the 2025 varsity football season so far. We will face another tough team coming up this coming Friday night, all the way down in Central Texas, as we take on the Clyde Bulldogs. They are 3-1 on the 2025 season. Last year, we met up with Clyde here in Muleshoe, and the Mules took home a victory, beating the Bulldogs 63-48. That happened September 27, 2024. So far in the Clyde season, they have beat Cisco 33-13. Then they beat Eastland 52-28. They lost in their third game to Shallowater 14-35, and then last week beat Snyder 48-7. They are in 3-3A Division I and is their district. In the Mules are in District 2, 3A Division 2. And so far, the standings in our district: Littlefield is 4-0, Slayton is 3-1, Idalou is 2-2, along with the Mules, and Roosevelt is 1-3. So a big game this coming Friday night, way down in Central Texas. Of course, you go down to Abilene and then head east on I-20, and you'll run right into Clyde after Abilene, and they will kick off at 7 p.m. If you can't make it all the way, we'll be shooting a highlight video of the game, each play. It looks like, as of right now, Elliot Davis, my voice of the Mules, his regular job at Costco, he's got a big meeting that afternoon, is not going to be able to accompany me to Clyde, but we will see what happens. He might be able to go, but as of right now, it looks like he probably will not. But our highlight video will be available on Saturday, and it will be brought to you by Barrett Potato Farms, McDonald's Restaurant, Mohawk Auto Parts, Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, Burton Service Center, Muleshoe Animal Clinic and Vet Supply, Muleshoe Area Medical Center, Shipman's Body Shop and Autoplex, Muleshoe Independent School District, Muleshoe Housing Authority, Edward Jones and Stephen DeMint, TG Fuels, new name, but Orvis, Adina, and Joe are still there to serve you, McCormick Seeds, and Leal's Tortilla Factory. Of course, I'll put up a picture and an update of the score at every quarter break, halftime, and the final. So look for it on our social media feeds. Facebook, Gil Lamb, along with Channel 6 Muleshoe on Facebook. Then our Twitter feed, Channel 6 Muleshoe, and our Blue Sky feed, Channel 6 Muleshoe. You can follow us on any four of those places for updates. JV and junior high mules are in full swing. The mules will luckily only have to travel down to Post to meet up with the Clyde Bulldogs this week. That will happen tomorrow on Thursday, September the 25th. Kickoff time in Post will be 4 p.m. That's the Muleshoe JV versus Clyde Bulldogs will be tomorrow, Thursday, September 25th. Kickoff at 4 p.m. at Post, Texas. Then also on Thursday, September 25th, the junior high teams will be in action at Bushland. Kickoff time will begin at 5 p.m. So good luck to the Watson Junior High School Mules as they will be in action at Bushland. Also, there's a big cross-country meet this Saturday, September 27th at Lubbock. And the meet will begin at 1 p.m. on Saturday. So good luck to our Muleshoe High School cross-country teams as well. Well, time now for a message from our sponsor of our Muletrain news program for today, Leal's Mexican Restaurant, the original Leal's, right here in Muleshoe, 1010 West American Boulevard, where Victor, Debbie, Kika, all their wonderful employees welcome you and remind you they are open again now on Sundays, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the original Leal's. So make it your Sunday tradition. Returns. Go to church and then come and eat a fresh, wonderful Mexican dinner at Leal's, 1010 West American Boulevard. Don't forget they have a full bar along with many mixed drinks, margaritas, along with many selections of beer now available at Leal's in Muleshoe. They have a happy hour every Saturday evening along with live entertainment inside the restaurant. They recently had a car drive through the wall there on the southwest corner of the building and damaged the restroom area, but they are trying to get that up and running, and so please forgive them as they are mitigating the disturbance there at the restaurant and get those restrooms back up and running. But Leal's is open, 1010 West American Boulevard. You are welcome every Sunday. They are open again 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the Original Leal's, 1010 West American Boulevard, 806-272-3294. The Muleshoe Area Hospital District is pleased to announce as they have hired a new clinical services personnel director. Liz Chavez, her smiling face, will be now a member of the team at the Muleshoe Area Medical Center. She spent 20 years working in the pharmacy at United Supermarkets and is wonderful to work with. Again, Liz Chavez is the new clinical services personnel director at the hospital. Also available to see patients now is Dr. David Warner, MD. He has moved to Muleshoe last year from the Dallas-Fort Worth area and is practicing now at the medical clinic of Muleshoe, 701 South 1st Street. You can make an appointment with Dr. David Warner by calling 806-272-7544. Also new at the medical clinic is nurse practitioner Johnny Roberts, and I dealt with him a month ago or so, and he was wonderful to deal with. He is a new nurse practitioner at the medical clinic of Muleshoe, seeing patients 701 South 1st Street. Again, stop by, or you can call and make an appointment at 806-272-7544. 444. New nurse practitioner Johnny Roberts and Dr. David Warner at the medical clinic in Muleshoe, and Liz Chavez is the new clinical services personnel director at the hospital. Well, we have some good videos for you that are new since last week on the front page of our website. Of course, we have our live stream from last Friday night of the Muleshoe Mules varsity football game versus Canadian, along with the full halftime show and the Canadian and Muleshoe Mighty M marching band's halftime performances, so make sure and go and watch that. We also did interviews on Saturday with some of the members of the Muleshoe High School class of 1975 as they gathered here in Muleshoe. They went to the game together Friday night and then gathered on Saturday at the Bailey County Senior Center, and we went down there and interviewed 5 of them, which included Sharon Harris Williams, Johnny Skillo, Robert Stovall, and Mike Bland. Really good interviews, about an hour's worth of them. I wish I could have stayed longer, but of course my girlfriend Kelly came from Lubbock, and I hated to just have her sit at the house while I was working, but I stayed as long as I could and interviewed those 5. And thanks so much to Gary Parker for inviting me to come out and do those interviews in the MHS class of 1975 50th reunion. That is our Meet Your Neighbor program for the month of September, sponsored by United Supermarkets. Last night, I went out to the Bailey County Electric meeting room and filmed a community event there put together by Chris Martis. Thanks for inviting us. And Dr. Chuck Howard from Charleston, South Carolina, was the speaker talking about how to build community. Before he spoke, they served ice cream and drinks, and a really good program happened, which was the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church's youth choir sang. A group of 7 or 8 girls from the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church, and look for that video with the singing at the first of it up on our website, muleshoetv.com, and all our social media feeds later today on Wednesday, September the 24th. The last couple of weeks I've been working with Teresa Young, who is writing for the Muleshoe Journal and the Plainview newspaper about history here in Muleshoe, and I believe that history edition will be out in this week's edition of the Muleshoe Journal, so drop by and get one if you are out. And we were talking about the history of Bailey County, and I believe her story took a U-turn, and she decided to write it about me and Channel 6 and Gil Lamb, Megan Reynolds, and the history of KMUL, Channel 6, and Gil Lamb advertising. So there'll be a story about that, but lots of other history we worked on, and she spoke to other businesses and people in town doing stories, and one of them was about Alton Burton. And Morgan, the granddaughter of Alton, shared on Facebook the history of Alton Burton Service Center, and we thought we would share that with you now. Alton Burton started Alton Burton Service Center in June 1979 at 516 West American Boulevard, with only his skilled 18-year-old son, Terry, some tools, 43 years of experience fixing things, and doing life, a very confident banker, and a dream under his belt. It turns out his banker was right to believe in his crazy dream, because the business soon flourished, taking in everything, including regular vehicle maintenance work, complete engine overhauls, irrigation engine service calls and overhauls, and more. Outgrowing their workspace very quickly, they relocated to its current property at 803 West American Boulevard in March of 1989. Part of the success of this family business is credited to Alton's wife, Alma, who was the shop's bookkeeper. She was meticulous, teaching her daughter, Tanya, and granddaughters, Ashley and Morgan, how to do the same job over the next 3 decades. She wouldn't allow the bank statement to be off a penny, even when Alton would reach in his pocket to offer her a number of coins to make it even. Alma passed away in 2016, but she is still very present in the way the books are kept and the shop is cleaned. Alton decided to step down in March of 2002, handing the keys to his son, Terry, who altered the business name slightly when incorporating it, renaming it Burton Service Center. Alton was going to take it easy after working with his hands since he was just a boy and teaching his son and grandsons, Jason, Tucker, and Lance, the trade. While he would tell people he was retired, Alton continued to open the shop early each day, greet customers, turn wrenches, and stay until closing time every Monday through Friday like clockwork. 46 years after opening the business and 23 years after retiring, Alton is still a very present figure at the shop. Longtime customers often call him the Walmart greeter because he is usually the first person to greet you when you walk in the door and the last smile you'll see when you're walking out. Terry has made some changes over the years, mostly modernizing tools and updating technology, but the work ethic, honesty, and workplace culture remains the same. Many customers who have been around since before Terry took over will tell you that they wouldn't have known the business officially changed hands because everything was exactly as it has always had been. When something works, why change it? Morgan joined the business in May of 2013 as the bookkeeper. She no longer uses the giant pale green accounting sheets of the golden yellow charge account ledgers, trading those in for computerized options. She does still balance the checkbook by hand to the cent, refusing to accept her papa's coins when it's off a few pennies, and handwrites each check, ensuring bills are paid promptly. Her nanny Alma taught her well, and she continues to aim to do her proud. Alton, Terry, and Morgan are looking forward to celebrating Burton's 50th anniversary with all of their customers in just a few years, the summer of 2029. It has been a fun ride so far, with customers becoming like family in 3 generations of the Burton family working side by side. Alma and Alton, children and grandchildren, had done various jobs in the shop throughout the years, but they have also learned a lot about life, hard work, and good values. A 4th generation is now spending time under the shop roof as well, filling it with more great memories and riding the same cast iron John Deere toy tractors Alton rebuilt that their parents once rode on the same stained concrete. Building this place from the ground up hasn't always been easy, and it definitely hasn't always been perfect. It has, however, always been rewarding, successful, and full of love. Thank you for joining us for the ride. It's our pleasure to continue serving the Muleshoe community at Burton Service Center. And that was a story written by Morgan about the history of Alton Burton Service Center. Of course, there'll be lots more history, including that one about Channel 6, and many others in this week's edition of the Muleshoe Journal. If I have that right, as again, I was working with Teresa Young, who was writing for the Journal on history about Muleshoe. Well, it is time now for the weather forecast, brought to you today by Gillam Advertising, Channel 6, MuleshoeTV.com. And, of course, we just, on the calendar, turned into the fall season, but it really sort of has felt like fall for quite some time, as our average high so far through 23 days in September is 86 degrees. Our average low has been 57. Right now at 1 o'clock here on Wednesday, September the 24th, it just now crossed to 70 degrees outside. So far during the month of September, we have a half an inch of rain at 53 100ths of an inch of rain. So we could use some rain, as it has been dry in September, and it was pretty dry also last month in August here in Muleshoe, although before that we had been having a really nice wet year, but it has dried off in the last couple of months, and here we are on September the 24th, and only a half an inch of rain. Looking at our forecast going forward here for the Muleshoe area, the National Weather Service out of Lubbock says sunny conditions for Muleshoe this afternoon. High only about 77 today, so it's going to feel really fall-like today. North winds around 15 miles per hour. Clear tonight with a low around 48. Northeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, becoming light after midnight. Sunny on Thursday tomorrow, high near 83, so a little bit warmer. Calm and winds becoming west-southwest at around 5 miles per hour Thursday afternoon. Thursday night, mostly clear, low around 52. Friday, football day, sunny, high near 88 degrees. Southwest winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy Friday night. Low around 56, south winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Looking at the weather for Friday night down in Clyde, they're calling for a sunny day, high only at 86 in Clyde, so they'll be a couple degrees cooler at the height of the day. South wind around 5 miles per hour, then Friday night mostly clear, low around 61. East-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now back to Muleshoe for the weekend. Saturday, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the afternoon hours after 1 p.m. Partly sunny, high near 87 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then Saturday night, another 20% chance of showers, mainly after 1 a.m., mostly cloudy, low around 57. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, a chance of showers with thunderstorms also possible in the afternoon hours. Partly sunny, high near 80 degrees. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain is 30%. Sunday night, mostly cloudy, low around 56. Monday, a 20% chance of showers. Partly sunny, high near 79. Monday night, mostly clear, low around 54. Then Tuesday, sunny, high near 84 degrees. So really fall-like weather. Highs will only be in the 80s and upper 70s here for the next 7 days, and a couple slight chances of rain, especially over the weekend into the start of next week. Well, on our prayer list today, please keep Cliff Black and Peggy Seagroves, Darlene Henry, Emily Bomer Towson, Sandy and Dick Chitwood, as they've recently moved to the Fort Worth area. Louis Carlos Saenz, Berta Combs needs to be on your prayer list today. Joe Bledsoe, Janie and Joseph Carpenter, Leela Copley, Dolores Harvey, Eddie Morris, Janice Snell, Bill Crenshaw needs to be on your prayer list today, and his daughter Donna Perry that's taking care of him. On your prayer list today, remember those grieving the recent loss of a loved one, including the family of Ed Cox, the family of Celia Hernandez, the family of Jerry Lee Mudford, the family of Marianne Arzola, the family of Crispin Green, the family of Jerry David Thomason, the family of Jim Daniel, the family of James Byers, and the family of Dr. Bruce Purdy. Well, it's just about time for us to go on this edition of the Muletrain News, brought to you today by Leal's Mexican Restaurant. You can hear our latest Muletrain News program, along with all our older archived ones up to a decade old, free of charge on demand on our website, muleshoetv.com. Click on the Muletrain News link at the top center of the front page.
I'm Tumbleweed Smith, the West Texas Anthem. Details in a moment on The Sound of Texas.
The Sound of Texas is brought to you here on MuleshoeTV.com by Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, with offices in Muleshoe at 610 East American Boulevard, as well as in Morton at 1744 State Highway 114. They're celebrating rural electrification right here in the Muleshoe area through Bailey County Electric since 1939. They are owned by the members that they serve. Call 806-272-4504. Check them out online at BCECOOP.com. The board of directors, the members, the employees, the manager, CEO David Markle all hope you enjoy this Sound of Texas with Tumbleweed Smith.
Ron Eckert is an attorney in Odessa, but writing and performing music has always meant a lot to him.
I like songs that make you happy.
He has recorded 11 songs in Nashville, some of which will come out in an album this fall titled Marshmallow Sky. One of the songs has that name.
I was just thinking of something I think peaceful. You know, when I stare at a sky with a lot of marshmallow-type clouds, it's almost like you're floating on the air.
Ron is constantly writing songs. His latest is called the West Texas Anthem.
The trees have thorns, the frogs got horns. In the West Texas desert I call home, where the spurs still jingle, jangle, and the cowboys rope and wrangle. Some say they learn to ride before they crawl, where we shoot the snakes that rattle from pickup trucks and saddles. But we greet our friends with a rowdy howdy y'all, howdy y'all. Some folks think it's strange, but I love my little home on the range. In the West Texas desert I call home. A coyote calls as twilight falls. In the desert, in the land I call home. The moon is bright, it's cool at night. In the West Texas desert I call home. Out in the countryside, where the roads are flat and wide, you can see for miles around. You can watch the sun go down, hear the thunder showers boom as the cactus flowers bloom. In the West Texas desert I call home. Yeehaw! This song I wrote mainly was a landscape song where I tried to paint a picture of West Texas. It's really also more than that. It's about the people out here that I think are kind of representative of the landscape. Kind of tough, kind of crusty at times, but love their freedom. A windmill turns, a grass fire burns. In the desert, in the land I call home. A pump jack up and down pulls the oil from the ground.
Ron Eckert lives at Gardendale near Odessa. I'm Tumbleweed Smith with the Sound of Texas.